Alcohol. A psychoactive substance produced through the fermentation of sugars by yeast has been used throughout history for various purposes, adapting to the cultural and social norms of different societies. In modern-day society, alcohol is consumed primarily during social gatherings, often used as a means of relaxation, celebration, or bonding in both casual and formal settings. However, the history of alcohol presents many other means of consumption, especially in ancient Chinese society. In this documentary, we will explore how alcohol in ancient China was created and consumed, as well as how it held a multifaceted role, blending medicinal, spiritual, religious, and social functions. Quickly, before we dive into the history of alcohol in ancient Chinese society, I will briefly go over the history of alcohol itself and how it came to be so important all over the world. In an old document by Alexander Walker, he explains that alcohol is a term derived from the Arabic and was first implied to be an impalpable power used by the Egyptian ladies to tinge their hair and eyebrows. Afterwards, it came to be applied in the sense of a subtle essence to the fluid obtained by the distillation from wine, which also received the name the spirit of wine. This spirit then went on to influence societies all over the world, but one that truly embodies the spirit part is ancient China. Another important thing to note is in this document, dating all the way back to March 1st, 1888, Walter's very first sentence predicted the effect alcohol was going to have on the world to this day. He began by saying, "No substance known to man in ancient or modern times can compare with alcohol in the importance of the place it has attained, and the effect it has produced upon the life and history of the human race." While modern consumption of alcohol often prioritizes leisure and recreation, ancient Chinese practices reflected their deeper integration of alcohol into health, religion, and social hierarchy, demonstrating its continuous significance across time and culture. First, we can understand this by viewing alcohol as an important part of ancient Chinese society, much like how it is an important part of modern-day society today. In fact, David Mandelbaum explains that alcohol is a cultural artifact. The form and meanings of drinking alcoholic beverages are culturally defined, as are the uses of any other major artifact. Traditional Chinese medicine viewed alcohol as a way to warm the body, promote circulation, and increase the effectiveness of herbal remedies. Beyond its use in medicine, alcohol had a significant role in rituals and group meals, serving as a symbol of social connection, respect, and unity. To be even more specific, wine played a large part in the earlier consumption of alcohol in ancient China for many reasons. Similar to today, not all wine was made the same, and not all wine was used for the same purpose. As many of us know, the majority of wine comes from natural processes of fermenting fruits. In ancient China, however, the most important wine was not actually fruit wine, but grain wine, due to a combination of environmental, agricultural, and cultural factors. Grains, such as millet and rice, were abundantly available and served as a staple in the Chinese diet, which made it a common and reliable source of alcohol production. Not only that, but culturally, grain wines held significant ceremonial and medicinal importance in the early Chinese societies. They were used in religious rituals, offerings to ancestors, and as part of traditional Chinese medicine, where they were often infused with herbs to enhance their therapeutic properties. Along with those reasons, factors like location and resources also encouraged the production of grain wine, as grapes were not as prevalent in certain regions and their brewing technology was still developing. To better understand their way of alcohol production, there are some important archaeological artifacts and evidence to support their use of grain-based wine. In an article by Mu Chu Pu, he explains how excavations in the Yangshao Neolithic sites, dating back to around 5500 BCE to 2500 BCE, have produced numerous pottery containers that many researchers think were used as wine vessels. These vessels make sense to have been used for wine production and consumption, as the Yangshao time period is responsible for the discovery of grain wine production. Pottery of the late Neolithic period indeed shows the resemblance of the traditional wine vessels such as the Ku, Qin, and the Kuei of the Shang dynasty. However, this does not exclude the possibility that other kinds of pottery could have been used as containers of wine in the earlier period. The most convincing evidence for the production of wine is the existence of vessels for fermentation and filtering purposes. Fermentation vessels are pottery with wide mouths and slightly pointed bottoms with small holes in the middle section, presumably intended for extracting wine from the vessel while leaving the residue at the bottom. Such vessels are said to have found in their modern counterparts among the farms of northwestern China. More evidence can be found to support this in the Chinese Materia Dietica, an ancient book of illustrations and captions in 4 volumes dating from the Ming period. This ancient book contains entries on over 300 medicinal substances and hundreds of illustrations in color. Even though the author is unknown, the illustrations show the production of liquors like Zuho, the small bottle liquor, and the Dongyang liquor. Many of these illustrations in this book show similar vessels that resemble the artifacts found from the Yangshao Natholic sites and the fermentation vessels as well. To wrap it up, in ancient China, wine production, consumption, and usage were deeply intertwined with the culture's agricultural, artistic, and spiritual practices. As we have learned today, the production of grain-based wine was an important stepping stone for the development of alcohol in many Chinese societies, and the way it was stored and consumed also reflects many similarities in modern-day consumption, representing a tradition. In addition to its usage in religious offerings and festivities, wine was highly valued in traditional Chinese medicine for its ability to extract the benefits of herbs and enhance physical health. The integration of alcohol into spiritual practices and physical healing highlights its multifaceted importance, emphasizing how this artifact was far more than a simple form of intoxication, but a reflection of China's complex and rich cultural heritage. I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed and learned something from my presentation today, and I wish you all a wonderful winter break. Cheers!